when we talk about mastering these fundamental laws of music theory, we're going to apply them right away. We want to apply them before we talk about any other topics. I want us all to have a firm foundation in the fundamentals, okay? So we all know, the chromatic scale, right? We know how to build that. That's just half steps, right? All right, so let's practice our chromatic scale, you guys. Just practice on your own. Just practice up and down. I don't have to hear you, but you guys should practice that. Now, you also should be practicing your chromatic scale, like if you have a line, right? You should practice your lines of moving up and down, your chords, your chords. Practice your chords, moving them chromatically, so you're familiar with moving your chords and everything in that chromatic move. Now, when we talk about the two whole tone scales, the two whole tone scales, they're like the opposites, right? They're like the yin and yang, or the opposite polarities of music, right? So they have a series, right? These two whole tone scales. And they're only 6 notes each, and we use those, Monk wore that out. Like around midnight, let me turn my piano down a little bit. Right? Anytime you see a dominant chord, you could play that whole tone scale, right? So if it's like C dominant, I could play a whole tone scale starting on C, and it'll work. So it's a series, so you can take those whole. So that's the same drill. You're gonna take your line. I'm just going real fast because you guys should know this stuff. You guys know this. You guys know this, right? But this is a review, all right? Just going forward before we get into the deeper topics, okay? All right, so the trinity of diminished. You guys know how to build your trinity. Everyone knows, familiar with those guys by now, right? Okay, good. Now, the 4 scale groups. Have you guys been practicing your 4 scale groups? And then the 5 pentatonic. These are the basic fundamental things that we're gonna examine and blow them up, We're gonna blow them up. So in the beginning, it's sound. It's a symphony, and we're part of this orchestra. So when you're playing, it's not separate from the bandstand. When you're performing to wake up, we want to start living this music and making it really, understanding that everything we do is part of us being a so-called musician. Because in ancient days, there's no real word, because music is such a part of everyday life, right? Okay, so it's endless, you guys. Okay, so I want you guys to just know this. So when you teach this systems to other people, I want you guys to start going out, start teaching the systems to your friends, to your colleagues, And so I want you guys to understand that, you're going over the chromatic scale. I'm just going over this, and this is going to be in the new course.